Welcome to Facing Time. My name is Jared Zuckerman, and I'm very excited to introduce my guest today. So I'm going to get through the bio really quick so we just get right down to it. She is a born and raised New Yorker, classically trained dancer, and professional writer and photographer. Following a devastating car accident where she nearly lost her leg, she was forced to give up her dreams of being a dancer on Broadway and chose a new career path in digital media with a creative outlet in food. The Skinny Pig is a top New York food blog born in 2008, covering the 3 R's: restaurants, recipes, and rants. She started her Instagram account in 2014, attracting the masses with her sarcastic, witty, uncanny humor, and unapologetic honesty in tackling topics like depression and PTSD. She is a recipe developer and brand ambassador for Fresh Direct and has made appearances on Thrillist, ABC, CBS, Zagat, Tasting Table, and more. A former ad sales and marketing executive, she now operates the Skinny Pig Inc. full-time as a social media consultant and content creator. I've been following her for years because of her fearless and authentic and crazy wit, and often find myself laughing when I'm watching her Instagram stories. You could find her on Instagram as Skinny Pig NYC with nearly 100,000 followers, and I am excited to introduce to you Dara Pollak.
Hello.
What's up? Thank you so much.
And yeah, thank you for having me, and say hi to Bobo, everybody. This is Bobo Fancy Cat on Instagram if anybody wants to give him a follow. He's a snobby, fancy young man, but he's going to be here with us. So thanks for having me.
Let's just jump right into it.
Yeah.
You're very open on social media.
Yes.
And I'm a huge fan. I love watching your Instagram stories. You have a way of talking about things that are very personal, but in a uplifting and sarcastic, witty way. And I really do always laugh every time I watch your stories. I even told my mom to follow you.
Aw, thank you.
Do you find for you social media at the beginning of confinement, COVID-19, has it helped you get through this? Has it been sort of like a form of like therapy for you?
Yeah, so I mean, I think that there's two sides of it, right? So I definitely thank you for the compliment also, because whenever I do share things that are like personal or like honestly just depressing about my life, I do find that I have a way of weaving in the humor that somehow lightens it up. And it also just, I think it's just my way of dealing with things, honestly. I mean, humor was always a defense mechanism of mine since I was a young age. When you're younger and you're bullied and you don't have a lot of friends and stuff, it's just you kind of use certain defense mechanisms, and mine was humor. So it's kind of the same thing. When I find myself talking about tough stuff, I can't help but try and also make people laugh or make myself laugh. So it's been the same kind of thing where I use social media, and I've been using Instagram during this time to kind of put stuff out there that I'm dealing with, but also weave in the humor and still try to make people laugh. I'll notice when I do my Netflix commentary on some dumb show that they have, people love it because it's escapism,
That reality show where they all have to not have sex.
That's the one. Oh, Too Hot to Handle. Yeah, I did that one a little. It was not, they're hip to Instagrammers though now, because now they have their own commentary. So I was having trouble commentating, if you will, over that. So I kind of couldn't do it, but it really blew up with Love is Blind. That was the one that everybody was like, oh my God, this is hilarious. You have to do this for every show. And I'm like, I wouldn't have enough hours in the day, but yeah, so. But yeah, so that's definitely been part of it, is I'll find myself needing breaks from social media just for my own mental sanity. But then I definitely look to it when I'm looking for inspiration or just looking for a laugh,
I think now, because I don't even think we're in confinement anymore,
No.
But, with this whole COVID thing, little thing, COVID.
Yeah, that thing. Right. No big deal.
If it comes knocking, I'm not opening the door.
Yeah, I know, seriously, right?
I think people are looking to feel that they're not alone.
Yeah.
Right? Because I can tell you, I felt alone for a long time.
Yeah.
And in some ways I still do. I kind of, right? You run your own business. You're a social media advisor. You're a content creator focusing in sort of the culinary area like me, right?
Yep.
We do it alone.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not it's really not this this amazing, beautiful, because a lot of people say, wow, I wish I had your job. This is amazing. Yeah. When I'm like talking about, oh, we're at this restaurant, look at this, we're frying some wings. Everybody thinks it's so like this glorious.
Yeah, glamorous.
Glamorous. It's not.
Oh, it's not. It's not at all. Like I wish that that more people like talked about what we do, honestly, because I feel like it's also one of those careers that is still very new, and a lot of people just kind of think it's a joke, and it's hard. I mean, I have, most of my friends who are not like Instagram friends all have like real jobs, if you will, and like it's hard to explain what I do without it sounding just like a hobby. I mean, it's a lot of the same stuff I used to do, but now I'm getting paid for it. And it's also just, I mean, once you start doing this stuff for money, the dynamic changes completely anyway. But like, you have to, they're a client now. It's not like you're just going in and taking some photos and then leaving and posting it and hoping that it does well. You're creating a brand for someone else. It's not easy at all. And sometimes the shooting conditions can be absolutely miserable. And like, there's plenty of things that go into it. You can have clients that don't respond to you ever and then yell at you and expect answers that, yesterday. And it's just like, don't get me wrong, I take a lot of like pride and like, I find it rewarding what I do.
At one point I had 5 people on my team. Then I went to 4, then I went to 3. And then it was just, I had the sort of the operational aspect down to such a science at one point. It was just me and one other person.
Yeah, that's
and
fine.
Then at the beginning of COVID, when I temporarily lost clients, it was just me. Right. And then it was me trying to maintain the relationships.
Yeah.
And figuring out now, how do I pivot the business so I'm relevant when we get into phase 2.
Right.
And even now in phase 2, I have a handful of clients, a few. Right. But it's just not, and it's frustrating. It's like, when you go to the gym and then you start seeing results and you're just so happy and you're just like, I feel great. You look badass. You're just, everything's great. And then you stop for, let's say, a month and you go backwards a little bit and you go back to the gym and maybe you're not as strong or you can't do as many sit-ups and you don't feel you look as good and feel, it's so hard to get, back. Yeah. It's so hard. That's exactly how I feel.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. That's how I felt too. I mean, first of all, I didn't have anywhere near as many clients as you did. Like I had, I think before this hit, I was at my highest level though. Like I feel like everybody, it's kind of weird because I feel like I've talked to a lot of people about this and not doing what we do, just any kind of job. And everybody was kind of like on a high at the beginning of the year and things were going really well for everybody. And then this happened. It was like, just kidding. The universe is like, go yourself. So I had
on you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think I had like 9 clients or something, which for me was a lot because I still also do, other things too. I do the freelance writing thing and whatever. So that was pretty much with me and one other person as much as I felt I could handle at the moment. And also I'm newer to it. You've been doing it longer than I have. So I didn't have it like down to an exact science, but I was getting there. And then like you said, within 1 week, I think it was 4 days, I had just moved back to my apartment here in Williamsburg thinking, I'm financially stable again. I can move out of my mom's basement and come back to my apartment that I love so much. And then again, the universe was like, just kidding. Within that first week I moved back, I lost all my clients in the span of 4 days. And then now I've only gotten a handful of them back. But it's like you said, I'm trying to like maintain the relationship and check in and everything, but it's hard to like do that without, also everyone thinking that you just have an ulterior motive because they're your client. Like I genuinely give a shit. I want them to do well and succeed, but it's like, I am also checking in because they were my client at one point and I would like to have them back.
Even now, the whole I reach out to some clients and they just think I'm basically asking them like, when can I invoice you?
Right, exactly.
No, I actually am asking them if there's anything I could do to help them.
Yeah.
Like I actually care. I love what I do. And I want to see these restaurants open. And then no one returns my calls and I'm really frustrated. And now facing time is what actually got me through this because I'm having conversations with people who make me laugh, who inspire me. Yeah. And I'm like, well, why don't I share these conversations on
Well, that was actually going to be one of my questions to you, kind of like, I mean, I know a little bit of it, obviously, but like, was that the reason that you wanted to start this? And I know we're interviewing me, but I'm just taking a second to interview you and ask.
No, it's a conversation. So
yeah, like, I mean, was that the reason that you wanted to do this, to kind of like shed some light on, you know, the industry, or is it more like shedding it on influencers, or is it a combination, or like? Yeah.
Honestly, I was talking to just different people on the phone from different industries because I'm searching for more inspiration and motivation now than ever.
Yeah.
And I have this big thing about staying positive. Every time I am, I go stay positive. Same thing with stories. Even in my bio, it says hashtag stay positive because I just try to search for staying positive because I find that's, for me, the gateway of everything else that's positive that can come forward and, come after that. So I'm having conversations and literally I'm just like, why don't I just share these conversations? And it happens to be a more restaurant focused, but it doesn't have to be. Like I just started a series for Black Lives Matter.
Oh, okay.
Because this is an important time and we should, I want to listen and learn and be a good ally and support, but I need to listen and learn in order to do that.
Yeah.
Right. And also it was therapeutic for me.
Yeah.
I needed an outlet to share who I really am.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel like I always have the opportunity to.
Yeah.
And
makes sense.
I want to impact somebody in a positive way, just one person through this. And if I could do that, whether it's someone I'm talking with or someone that listens to this on social media, on Face and Time, that's what matters to me. If I could just impact one person to come out of this time and beyond in a more positive way, then I feel like through my journey, through my struggles, my achievements, my everything, that it'd be worth it if I could help one person. Because I wish that maybe there was a time that there was someone that could have helped me.
I was gonna say that could do it for you. I know. I agree with that. That's basically, that's exactly how I feel, honestly. It's like I've been looking to social media and other places trying to find inspiration because I felt a little lost in my own content recently. Like it just doesn't feel the same. I think that's even a little bit before COVID hit. I've been feeling that way, but like one of the main reasons I got into this business in the first place was because I felt like I had something to say about the industry. Number one, I knew my sense of humor was like catchy for a lot of people. Oh, a lot of people, mind you, not everybody. I am hardly everybody's cup of tea. Because I'm just very dry and I'm sarcastic and I think my attitude sometimes can rub people the wrong way and I'm A-okay with that. I get it. But one of the reasons I did it though was because I felt like I could help people, whether it was like through my food writing or whether it was through cooking or whether it was, promoting a restaurant that needs extra love. Like that was why I did this. So like as time has gone on and there's just more and more food influencers doing this now, I felt like, well, how can I differentiate? And that was when I was like, well, I can share my story of how I got here because that's depressing as but it's also very inspiring. So I was like, let's do that. That sounds fun. And it's like you said, the amount of comments that I got on that, and this was years ago when I initially shared it, but it was like outrageous how many people were like, thank you so much for sharing this, such an inspiring story. I went through something similar, you've no idea how many people go through like similar things. And it's just like, it's like you said, it's cathartic, but I wish that I had found my, niche right now to like use COVID time in like a positive way for myself because I'm still figuring it out and I'm not there yet. So congratulations to you though for finding it.
Thank you. I'm still finding it though. Like I'm still, I need to still make money.
Right.
I heard money's helpful.
Yeah, I heard it helps, especially in New York when it costs like $27 for a sandwich. Yeah, it's probably something you should look into. I don't know.
Can I finance that sandwich?
Yeah, literally. I'm like,
3 payments of $9.99.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, oh God, so true though. But yes.
I'm fortunate that I'm somewhat stable now because of the business, but I'm still not making any money. So that's only going to last so long.
Yeah.
The next time you see me, I'll be like in the closet in the basement of this building or something like that. Like, this is where I
live. Yeah, you're like, this is my beautiful house. It's a cardboard box. Yeah.
And then, one of the things that I started thinking about 2 months ago, a little bit more is, what is my value? What is my worth? What do I put out there? And I did get caught up in the business. I truly cared. I always did the right thing. I never gained at the sacrifice of somebody else. Yeah. I never took business from somebody else, even though, people started to know like the Food and City name.
Right.
My first question is, are you working with someone now? Mm-hmm. Who are you working with? Yeah. Because then I would actually let them know they reached out to me. Because I always do. And I said, when you're done,
right,
then you can, but I would never, and I just wouldn't do it. It's not my style, because I think that everybody in our space can actually help each other. We're not competition. If we actually get together, and I just had this conversation with Maricel from Michelin Guide.
Yep, I watched it.
She's amazing, right?
Yeah, I love her.
If we could just like build a community, like she said, and actually work together.
Right.
If more people can think that way, I think that we would actually all do well, because if the industry doesn't develop again and grow, we don't develop and grow.
Right.
So we need to be kind and we need to do the right thing.
Yeah.
But I just can't, facing time for me is just something that I feel like I'm onto something. I really do. And I don't usually feel this way.
Right.
And I don't know how it's going to happen, but I'm just going to keep doing it because I'm getting good feedback.
If you have the feeling, I think that that's important. And I also I've always said, and I've always felt like when people ask me for advice on like how to start a blog and how to just like kind of keep going or whatever, my
super easy.
Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, it's so easy. Just do it. 10 years later, you can have all this that I have. Just kidding. But yeah, no, I would always say like, if you're following your heart and like, it feels right deep down, like that gut feeling, you'll do it anyway, regardless of the money. Like you said, you'll just do it because you love it. So it's like, if you have that feeling that you're on the right path, then I'm not a very spiritual person. People would probably be shocked to hear this, but I am kind of a believer in like the universe, like the way you see things and like things you put out into the universe. If you say things out loud enough times, like I do kind of believe in that stuff. So I feel like if you're putting it out into the universe, that like this is something you really feel strongly about, I feel like it's going to come back to you like in a good way. So I think if you have that feeling.
Do you ever feel though that for me, sometimes I'll get really caught up that I actually don't know what I'm feeling, or I don't know what is right or what is wrong. And not as like, I'm going to go out and like run somebody over with a bicycle, but I mean like wrong as in like.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good. No.
You know what I mean? Like what's good, what's right for me, what's wrong for me, like what is my heart telling me, all that stuff. And I do get confused. And I even question myself with facing time. Sometimes I'm like, maybe this is silly.
No.
Maybe I'm going to do this. So I do go back and forth.
So yeah, 100%. And that's what I was just going to say, is that I think it's a little different because like and at least for me specifically right now, that's exactly how I've been feeling. Like I always was pretty good about like just following my gut and like doing what feels right. But lately I feel like I don't really know. And I think though, like that is a byproduct of social media, because like my social media right now, like if people go to my page, like I have, 91,000 followers or something, but like my likes and engagement and just overall reach, like, I'm going to go ahead and blame the algorithm, but it may not even be that. It's just down, down. Like I cannot do anything right according to Instagram. So it's like, I'll have a few posts occasionally that do well, but even then it's still like, my reach is not as anywhere near where it used to be. And it's very frustrating because I'm like, I've never bought a follower in my life. I've never done any of that stuff. So why is this happening to me? Are people just not liking me anymore? Is my time up? Like I had my 15 minutes and now it's gone. So it's definitely because of that. Like I feel like if I didn't have the idea in the back of my head that was like, this might tank or whatever, and no one's gonna give a shit, just repeating in the back of my brain, then maybe I would do it more. But like, I don't know what the right path is, and it's because of that thought.
I also, and I respect that and I can relate to that. First of all, I don't even know why I have the followers that I have. I don't know why.
Same.
And we all know too, there's only a small percentage of people who actually really follow us. Most of them probably forgot they've been following us. Exactly. But regardless, whoever is engaged, I'm just like, what's so interesting about me and my life that anybody really wants to follow me? I don't understand.
Same.
And then it's like, I'm inspired by food, but I'm not always inspired to share food. So I don't want to share it because I'm not inspired by it.
Yes.
And I know that a majority of my followers want that, but then when I do post something that is not food, there's still like this small group. It's like, thank you.
Yeah. Right.
And for me, it's so touching because social media can be real. and it can be authentic and genuine. And yeah, okay, like I'm not always like the upbeat person. We can't always be like that, right? But when you're in front of camera or something, somehow like, I don't know, sometimes the light switches and you're just like, bing. But I only post on Eat and Be Full maybe once a week. And the point is though, but that's how it feels right. And it's how I feel. So that's how I'm going to share it. Right. And I mean, I used to get sometimes, 10, 20, 30,000 likes. Now I'm getting like 1,000, 2,000. Yeah. But I just don't care. Right. I never did it for that. Like, of course, we always want the reach. And
right, exactly.
But that's not why I'm doing it.
Right. Let me also clarify that it's not that I care so much about the likes and the numbers. It's just more the fact that it makes me feel like I'm not reaching as many people as I used to. Most of the comments, like I still thankfully get a lot of comments on stuff, and they're usually from people who you can tell are actually reading the caption and paying attention. So these are the people who are loyal. So I'm always like, I'm thankful for the people who are still sticking around and give enough of a to actually like read what I'm posting. Cause like nothing is more infuriating than when you're like, here's a sandwich, but like, let's talk about depression. And I've been having a really rough week and everything sucks and I'm really sad. And somebody comments, oh my God, yum, with like heart emojis. You're just like, did you read any of this? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, I get it also. Like, probably shouldn't talk about depression with a photo of a sandwich.
I know that you were through a terrible accident.
Yeah.
And it definitely changed the trajectory of where your life has taken you. Yep. But you grabbed life by the balls though, and you made something of it. You didn't allow yourself over time to be a victim, and congratulations, that's inspiring.
Thank you.
And because for me, even things that may have happened 20 years ago, 15 years ago, wow, I'm old. 20 when I say 20 years ago, they actually still stick with me like emotionally as if it happened yesterday.
Yeah.
Do you feel that the things that you've been through in the past that have been very sort of dramatic or like it left an impression on you, do you feel it kind of creeped up a little more during COVID?
Oh yeah.
Because you had like more isolation time, or just because everything was so strange?
Yeah, that's a great question actually. And I thought about that recently because I think that there is something to that, because it's a little bit like, so I used to suffer from PTSD pretty badly, like when this first happened. Obviously, like anytime I heard like a car's like tires screeching, or if I saw like reverse lights, because I got hit by a car that was like backing up. So if I saw reverse lights, I would like panic and have flashbacks, and it was just bad. But I've basically gotten over it now. But what's interesting is that like I've noticed that sometimes when I'm just like during COVID, like the quarantine time, when I was just like alone, like that feeling would kind of creep back in. And it was like, it wasn't because of anything that like specifically triggered it, at least that I could call out, but it was just the loneliness and the isolation and the like having no one to talk to who can relate to what I'm going through specifically. Like everyone's going through this, like the COVID thing, but it's like everyone experiences it differently and feels it differently, So that was, I think, what was definitely really hard during this time is just like, even like you said before, just pinpointing like how you really feel. It's been tough because like I said, there are days where I'm totally fine and I think I'm just doing well and whatever. And there are days where I really feel like I'm depressed and I don't even want to get out of bed and do anything. So it's like, it's been a bit of a roller coaster to say the least.
I write a word on 3 different Post-it notes with like how I'm currently feeling.
Oh, okay.
And then I fall asleep. And then when I wake up, I look at the Post-it notes to see how I feel that morning when I woke up. Because then I start to realize how I feel when I go to bed generally translates with how my day will go when I wake up the following day. And I start to try to work on myself now with that. So that way I can wake up hopefully a happier person or a more inspired person.
Right. No, that's interesting. I like that. I mean, that's like what I would do with like affirmations, sort of like I would write them down also like on Post-it notes. So kind of the same, but not before bed. I would, if anything, it was like the opposite. Like I would write them in the morning and try to like, frame my day around that. I've also started doing a little bit of like the online journaling thing. Like I'll do like, or not online, but like on an app, like the mental health apps or whatever that they have. I've been using Bloom. It's like a cognitive therapy, like behavioral, you write down like how you're feeling that day, and they like, guided meditation type stuff. They like ask you, why do you feel that way? And you write it down.
Wait, what is it called again?
It's called Bloom, like a blooming flower, Bloom.
You know how on Instagram you can see how much time you spent,
Yes.
or like, and on your iPhone now you can
Yep.
see.
Yep.
It used to be a lot because I had to when I had all the
Yeah,
time.
for your job. I mean,
I'm literally down to like 30 minutes a day.
oh, wow. That's awesome. I mean, see, that's the thing is like, I kind of have been starting to do that on the weekends, especially because I feel like that's like my time, you know, with Chris, with my boyfriend, and like with family now. Like we've been seeing each
Did
other
you
a
say
little.
Christ or Chris?
Chris.
Like, does he know you call him Christ?
Oh my God. Yeah, talk about putting somebody up on a pedestal. Jesus Christ.
I was like, I just said he's cute. I didn't say he was like.
No. I'm like, it does come from that, I believe, but yeah, no. But yeah, it gives us like, you know, time to spend more together because I find like when I'm, you know, out with people, I don't want to be one of those. What's up, guys? Yeah. You know, you don't want to be doing that. So it's like
How to lose a man in 30 days.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So like I found like lately when I'm watching stories, like, you know, and it kind of just keeps going like to the next person, like over and over. Like if you're just watching stories, it just moves on to the next one. After a while, like it's depressing because I think that there is also a little bit of like the comparison game, which I know I should never play, but I think we all do it because we're human. And I'll be like, wow, this person is doing so much more with their COVID time. And I'm sitting here talking to Bobo. You know what I mean?
I always feel if I'm not doing something, there's somebody else out there doing something and they're getting ahead while I'm not.
Right.
Like they're doing more.
I'm just standing still. Yeah. I just feel like I'm stagnant.
That is the work for me. That's the worst feeling. I recently just posted something, I think yesterday, that says something about just like.
Sorry, wait, pause, Jared. Sorry, can I just? Christ locked himself out of the apartment. So can I just 1 second?
Waiting for her to come back. Was it something I said? Look, she turned into a cat.
Are you like outside?
When I was at the height of Food and City, I was just like, we're good. I'm
Yeah.
good. No matter. I know, and I say this with humility,
Mhm.
people were looking at what I was doing and saying, oh, wow, I need to do more.
Correct.
And I know that.
Yep.
And I'm confident to say that because I'm also really bad at a lot of things. And there are a few things I'm really good at. So I'm not afraid to.
It's a very easy trap to fall into. And it's a very easy mindset to just again, fall into and get wrapped up in. And I try to not do that as well because it's just a dangerous game to play. And it's a surefire way to get depressed. I also think that there's like something to exactly what you said, where like there's a time when you were doing everything and just kind of at the top and you didn't give a about what anybody else was doing because you knew that you were doing what was right for you at the time and what was successful. Whereas like, I think sometimes there's ebbs and flows with this stuff. And that's what I've been telling myself is like, I think if you're like, somebody who's like an infinite player in the game here, like you're gonna go through times where you're up and times when you're down, like, you know what I mean?
What's your take on restaurants? What do you think we're going to see over the next 6 months, six to 12 months? Do you think we're going to be stable or slowly increasing back to the new normal? Or do you think we're going to maybe hit a plateau or a recession? Like, what do you think in like, I'm very interested in like a year from now?
Yeah, it's interesting actually, because like I feel like I've lived through enough of like things that have hit New York pretty hard, and we always seem to bounce back and everything is just back to normal the way it was before. But this is one of those things where I'm really not so sure that's going to be the case. That said, what I've been seeing so far, at least from some of the restaurants, at least like in Manhattan, like I don't know where, like you're in Brooklyn too. So around here, and I'm in Williamsburg, like it's pretty spaced out here and people seem to be for the most part obeying like the guidelines and wearing their masks and whatever. But I've been seeing, you know, footage from other restaurants and other influencers that I follow that are in Manhattan, and it's like a free for all. No one's, you know, wearing their masks. Everybody's on top of each other. And also like, I understand from the businesses, like from the restaurant's point of view, they want to make money and they haven't been making money. They're probably all in horrific debt or whatever. So they're probably like, well, those bar tabs are running. So like, let's just, who cares? But there are some restaurants that all, you know, do want to obey the guidelines, obviously. But I can understand the like struggle of like, well, we need to make money, but also want to keep people safe. So I think like, I don't know. It's really hard to say right now because I think it's still a little too soon. I'm hoping that this will like, give like people a little bit more like maybe new respect for restaurants and how hard they have to work to like keep us happy and keep us fed, and like the work that goes into it. And also I just kind of hope that people aren't stupid about this, because like if they are, then we're going to end up reverting back to where we were before, and nobody wants that. So I don't know. I'm just like, I'm hoping that we come out of this on the other end. And I feel like New York especially is like a very strong, resilient place. And I think it's possible, but I think it's definitely going to take longer than I initially thought it was going to, if that helps.
I have, and for the record, I did post something on Food and City about almost 3 months ago to say, I don't think restaurants are going to be able to have any indoor seating until around mid-July. And everybody thought I was crazy.
Oh, yeah,
I was like, I got that one right.
Yeah, no, honestly, I was one of those people who was definitely skeptical. Like, I obviously knew this was bad, but I didn't think, like, that it was going to, last this long, at least, like, in terms of, like, the restaurants. I also didn't think it was going to be just, like, such a, in the very beginning, I'm saying. But once it was, like, hit like April, May, whatever. And like, so, I think it was like after that, it was one of those things where it was like, okay, this is really scary and I don't know what everything is going to look like. But I definitely would have thought you were crazy too if you had said that. And now everybody's like, oh, I'm not going into the office until like September. Again, if you had told me that a few months ago, I would have been like, you're insane. But now it's like the norm. And now some people aren't going back at all. Like, it's all wild. I mean, like I said, I hope I can see the restaurant industry bounce back, because I think it's so sad what's happened to it. Like one of my clients that I got back, thankfully, they were like asking about doing an influencer thing, like an event, like a meetup. And I was like, no, I was like, not yet. Like, I understand you want to get people in and eventually whatever, but also like, you don't need to be giving away more free food right now. That's number one. And number two, it's just, I wouldn't feel safe. Like if somebody invited me in right now, I'd kind of be like, slow your roll. Not there yet. So.
You just quit. Suddenly you're looking at your contract and holy it doesn't say, I need to do this.
Yeah, exactly. In the event of a global pandemic. Yeah, no.
Suddenly you see, oh no, it does say influencer event.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, is there an out clause? Can I cancel the contract?
Yeah, exactly. Like,
no.
I
just thought of my mystery question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
I have one too. I thought of one while we were talking, so go ahead.
So everybody that's watching this, the last thing I do on each episode is we ask a mystery question. I'll ask my guest, and my guest will ask me a mystery question. It could be anything and everything, and we don't know what it is. So since you're the guest, do you want me to ask first, or do you want to ask first?
I want you to ask first.
What's your favorite word?
My favorite word? That is so crazy.
I think I have a feeling, like, here's the thing. I'm actually gambling with myself. Pretend I have $5 in this hand. Like, I'm going to give myself the $5 if I'm right.
Oh my God, that's so hard. I don't even know. I mean, it's weird because I'm like, there are words that I say a lot, but then there's also words that I just really like, I'm curious what you think it is. Can I ask what you think it is?
Yeah, but then it's going to, will it influence you?
That's true. Okay, fine.
I will say it's a word I would have to beep out if I say it. You could say it, but I beep out my words. But it's definitely a word I'd beep out. And it's a word that I love because it has multiple meanings. And you say it a lot. And somehow when you say it, I laugh my ass off because you actually have a way of saying like some foul words in the most hilarious way. I'm telling you, when I watch your stories,
yeah,
for me, if you want to know, you've been an impact on me because when I watch you, I'm always happy and I always laugh, even when you're talking about depression. I'm not laughing at that. I mean,
I know what
you talk about it. Wow. Hey guys.
I know what you mean. Don't worry. I'm not offended in any way. Oh my God. This is funny because now I want to just know what it is because I'm like, I have a few favorite words, but they're not like, it's definitely, the one I'm thinking of is like not something that I say a lot. So now I'm like.
What are you thinking of?
I was thinking of, well, actually it's like, it's more of a phrase than it were like two words put together, but I love blithering idiot. That's like my favorite. I love saying someone is a blithering idiot. I love that. So I guess it's two words combined, but blithering is just great. I love that. Yeah. Now I want to know what you think it is. Oh, that's it?
That's it.
That's it? Oh my God, that's funny.
What do you mean that's it? Are you disappointed?
No, I'm
that's what I thought.
No, I'm surprised because my mom, like, she also curses too, so that's why this is very funny. But she thinks I curse way too much. Like, that's her thing. She thinks I curse too much. I mean, like you said, yeah, all right. She might be right a little bit, but like,
if anybody watches this, it's just going to be a.
Yeah, exactly. See, that's what I mean. I'm like, I've been trying to like cut it back lately because it's been getting in my head that maybe I do. But yeah, I mean, I do say that on my stories at least, because on my stories I kind of don't care as much. Now,
So
your mystery question, I'm really excited to hear this. I'm not gonna lie.
I have no idea what's going to come out of your mouth right now. I am so nervous. Okay.
I'm excited to ask it, but okay. So if you could abolish one Instagram food trend, what would it be?
I can tell you right now,
Okay.
the donut burger.
The donut burger. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's definitely one that needs to hit the road.
I tried it and I literally thought I was
Like, gonna puke.
going to gag. Yeah.
Really?
I was going to make, yeah.
Interesting. I never actually tried that one because it just did not
Horrible.
appeal to me.
I don't thought anything would be good. Not even just the place that I went to.
Right.
Anyone that makes a donut burger, I applaud them
Right.
I applaud you for making the donut burger and going viral, because I create crazy things for restaurants and it works. However, when I create crazy things for restaurants, even though it looks great, the flavor profile is never a sacrifice. We always start with flavor profile, then we create it. So all the restaurants out there, I'm proud of you for doing it.
Right.
Great things that taste good.
So that's why I asked it, because I was like, I know that you do that sort of thing and I do it too with restaurants, but I'm always like, we are never going to sacrifice the taste just to make something ridiculous. Like one of my clients wanted to do like and this was a while ago, obviously, like before COVID happened, wanted to do like a 10 burger stack, like 10 burger. And I was just like, that's A, so wasteful. And B, like no one's going to actually be able to eat that. So my thing is always like, if you're going to create something that's Instagrammable, also make it taste good. You can do both. It doesn't have to be covered in glitter and rainbow colored and unicorns in order to taste good,
Dara, have you seen right before COVID that huge 15 patty burger from
that might be what I'm referring to. No,
from New York Burger Co.
Is it?
Huge quadruple, they called it. That
Sorry.
was me.
I was like, sorry, wait a minute. Did I just actually do that? Oh my God.
Oh, I love it.
It wasn't who I was thinking of.
No, but I love it because the thing is for one, it's like, just being on social, you can't make everybody happy. Everybody's going to have an opinion and no one's right or wrong. It's just, this is how they feel.
Yeah.
Like the donut burger, right? With the donut patties.
Yeah.
They do phenomenal on social media.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Right. Because like people
doesn't mean it's wrong.
Yeah. Right.
So, but that's hilarious. I love it.
I'm like, oops, open mouth, insert foot.
And it actually didn't do that well either. So
yeah,
you know what? You're probably right. I should have never have done it. But that's the thing too. I've created a lot of things. Yeah. Like maybe I've created 100 different things, but really a dozen went crazy. Right. Like the mac and cheese burger, the burrata pizza, the poke taco.
Right. That makes sense though. You know what I mean? It's like, that's something that you can see working together. That's just like, it's like a cheeseburger, but just elevated slightly with mac and cheese. Like obviously those flavors are going to work together and that's going to be good. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's just like anything that feels impossible to eat. That's why like a 10 stack burger to me, I'm like, how would you even eat that? Like,
okay. I'm literally, I think like 2 weeks ago, I posted something, I'm holding the burger like this. It's like, boom, and it has a big like metal rod in it.
Oh my God, I feel terrible now. Okay, you can just
edit this is not being edited out at all.
Oh my God. Whoops. Okay.
I love it. This is why I appreciate you and I love watching you on social media, because there's no.
I'm honest.
There's no fake in it. There's just like, there's no questioning where you're from, but it's always with good intention too. It's always
exactly. It was like, place. I swear I didn't know that. If I did, I wouldn't have said it.
No, that's why I love it. I'm glad, because I would still want you to say it. That's cool.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you. It was fun though.
I could literally talk to you for hours,
oh.
and I forgot to set my alarm and we've been talking for almost an hour.
Yeah, I know. And my food is here now. I heard.
Okay. So thank you everybody for joining Facing Time again with me, Jared Zuckerman and Dara Pollak. Follow her, Skinny Pig NYC. She's hilarious and stay positive.
Bye. All right. We did it.